Hello, my name is Carl Ishameen, and this training is on conducting sensitivity analysis for making capital budgeting decisions. This lesson will cover both quantitative and qualitative risk factors in the capital budgeting process. A sensitivity analysis is a tool that can be used to understand the changes and assumptions of a project's outcome. This is needed for making sound financial decisions, which allow you to understand how changes in an assumption can alter the outcome of a project. So first, we're going to get into what is capital budgeting. Capital budgeting is where a company evaluates their long-term investments, for example, expanding its facilities. Decisions regarding a company's investments are important because these investments are typically a significant amount of money that is invested for longer periods of time. Common tools that are utilized in this process include the net present value and internal rate of return. Metrics like these tools can help a company gauge if a project would garner bigger returns, i.e. higher income. We have to be careful, however, as these are just assumptions on data such as the cost of goods, the income of the company, etc. Sensitivity analysis helps a company see various different conclusions if one condition were to change. Next, we'll get into financial management goal and function. The ultimate goal of financial management is to plan, organize, and control a company's resources to better align the company to reach its goals. The biggest goal is to maximize the value of the company to boost the stakeholders' income, while providing insight into the company's ability to sustain and grow. The functions of financial management include allocating capital among competing projects, managing the company's exposure to risk, ensuring liquidity, and enabling decision making. When it comes to capital budgeting, financial management allows a company to choose investment opportunities. Further, it forces the company to consider the quantitative and qualitative factors to ensure decisions are balanced, which we're going to get into in the next couple of slides. Talking about quantitative steps and sensitivity analysis, there are several different steps to take with regards to the quantitative steps of sensitivity analysis. The first step is to identify variables that alter a project, specifically its financial performance. Examples can include sales, price per unit, material costs, or further examples. Next, it is important to establish a baseline about the best estimate for each variable to get a reference point. After that, a company should change one variable at a time and recalculate the NPV or IRR and observe what happens. By doing so, a company can gauge what assumptions may be successful. Finally, using scenario analysis, a company can figure out what project is no longer beneficial to it and can be annexed, or what project is beneficial and should be sustained. Next, we'll get into the qualitative steps in sensitivity analysis. It is important to also consider the factors that can influence within a company. Factors such as experience within a company or the capabilities within a company all play a crucial role in determining the risk. Further, it is also important to look at factors that can influence the company from outside. These are factors such as environmental, political, and market factors. Finally, we're going to get into internal and external risks. Once a company identifies its risks, as we previously mentioned, it is important to add them into the budgeting analysis, both internally and externally. When it comes to internal risk integration, there are several methods that can be conducted. One method is adjusting discount rates upwards for a higher return. Another is to apply certainty equivalent cash flows, and so on. Another is diversification. This is where the company spreads its investments across various projects to reduce exposure to a singular risk. Next, when it comes to externally, companies can track economic indicators such as interest rates in the public market to better understand how a project would yield in return. And here are some references that can help guide you. Thank you so much.